Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh!, where I, Riku, play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! On Dueling Book Ranked. Today, we are playing Fiendsmith Odion. Fiendsmith Odion is the new-ish TCG exclusive hotness. Utilizing the Odion cards, which revolve around the Temple of the Kings, they set up multiple points of interaction on the play, alongside the Fiendsmith engine, to allow for extra turn 1 interaction and resiliency. As mentioned in the previous video, people here should be familiar with the Fiendsmith engine. In this deck, the main goal of the engine is to end on a copy of DDD Wave High King Caesar or Evil Tsar Lars, with Lacrima and Requiem in the graveyard to enable a Fiendsmith in Paradise to dump Fiendsmith's Desiree to send a card our opponent controls to the graveyard. This provides another relatively free point of interaction as the deck sets up with two monsters on board at the end that kind of don't go into anything, so you can go into Moon of the Closed Heaven, or you can go into Silhat Rabbit, in order to set a Statue of Anguish pattern for a little bit of extra popping power on our opponent's turn. There's a few cards of note in here. In the main, we are playing Fiendsmith Sanct instead of a Tract plus Lurry, as our board is relatively easy to be clear. We are a trap monster deck after all, and we want to be doing our Fiendsmith line right away so that we don't play into Nibiru. And the deck really can't afford to have any additional bricks. As a trap deck, you're playing on extremely thin margins the entire time that you're playing, so having anything extra that can go a little bit awry is a bad idea. We are playing the full suite of 3 Apophis the Swamp Deity to give us a little bit of extra power into the grind game, as continuing to be able to reset multiple of these and keep negating multiple of our opponent's cards every turn is really powerful. It acts almost like a skill drain, but in a much more interactive and interesting way. In the extra deck, we've got an Evil Tsar Lars. This card can be made off of our 2 copies of Apophis the Swamp Deity, which is a level 6 monster, or you can make it with Engraver. We also have a copy of Chaos Angel because Chaos Angel is broken. We've got Necroquip Princess to help us get into the Wave High King Caesar or Lars line. We've got 2 copies of Silhat Rabbit, as this is a card you do sometimes want to make multiple times. Got a copy of Link Spider to link off our Nibiru token if we do get Nibiru'd. And in the sideboard, we've got 3 Artifact Lancia in order to beat up on Malice. We've got 2 Perulia, 3 Meowls, just to be able to draw through more of our deck on the draw. We've got a copy of Duster, Called by the Grave if our opponent is a graveyard-focused strategy, 3 Forbidden Droplet, and 2 Solemn Judgment as an extra powerful piece of interaction to round us off. And with that, let's get into the games for this week. Alrighty, and welcome to round 1. Our opponent is taking their sweet time with RPS, but it looks like we have 1 RPS and we are on the play. So let's take our going first and see what our opening hand holds for us. We've got Nibiru, Purge, Sanct, Droll, and Treasures of the Kings. This is a pretty good hand. I'm a big fan. Let's lead on Sanct and see where the Fiendsmith engine takes us. Alright, Sanct is going to summon us a token. We are going to link off our token for Requiem. We'll then go Requiem effect. And we will summon out our Lacrima. Lacrima effect. Yep, our opponent is moving pretty quickly, so it occurs to me that I do not have as much material as I am used to having. That is the one problem with Sanct. I think, that's interesting, because if we Engraver, we're shuffling back Requiem, but then we don't have Requiem to equip to Lacrima to summon. I'm confused. This doesn't make any sense, so I should have done some test hands, as it turns out. I really have no idea what I'm doing. It's alright. We're gonna go Treasures of the Kings, and it will be fine. Treasures of the Kings will set us an Apophis the Serpent, We will set this Dominus Purge, and we will go Treasures of the Kings to Tutor. We'll tutor for a monster that mentions Treasures of the Kings. We will grab the Man with the Mark. And Droll and Lockbird. Yep, that's fine. I really do not know what we're doing from here. We can take a Temple of the Kings or a spell trap that mentions it. I think we do still want to normal summon Man with the Mark. And then we will link these two off for Silahat Rabbit? Possibly? I have no idea. Well, let's just go for Man with the Mark. Man with the Mark, we will dump a Treasures of the King so we don't draw it. And then I think we just want to link off for Silahat Rabbit and call it a day there. Silahat Rabbit will set from deck the Statue of Anguish pattern. And yep, we'll just pass the turn there. In draw phase, we're going to activate the Statue of Anguish pattern so that it is on board. And they are good to go to their main phase from there. They are going to activate Evil Assault. Sure, that's fine. So they're going to take an Evil Hero and either add it to hand or special summon it. If they add it to hand, we're drolling them. If they special summon it, we will have to droll them on after the Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist will trigger. That is fine. On resolution, we will Droll and Lockbird them. Ooh, that's pretty nasty, especially because they just tutored for Stratos. Let's see where they go from here. They'll activate Ferris, pitching Liquid Soldier to special summon. That's fine. They have summoned one time so far. Think here. I think we are supposed to negate this. We should have Apophis the Serpented already. Yeah, we'll do Apophis the Serpent now. What are they thinking on? Do they have a Dominus Impulse in hand? I don't think there's anything else that they could have. Then you can set an Apophis trap from your deck. It can be activated this turn. And we'll set Apophis the Swamp Deity. Ferris will resolve there. Ferris resolves. Yes. Then I have effects on res. So we'll go Silahat, target increase, Anguish pattern, target dead end. So yep, okay. Sure, that's fine. They will summon the increase. If this card is special summoned from a spell trap zone, you can special summon a level 4 or lower vision hero. We will go Apophis the Swamp Deity. And then on res, we will Anguish pattern pop their Ferris. That is not a once per turn, by the way, folks. Crazy card that is. They are going to mask change in response, targeting the Vision Hero Ferris. I'm afraid that is fine. This will be summon 4. I don't really want to Nibiru my board, but if it has to be done, it has to be done. Masked Hero Darklaw is also not great, but we can deal with that as well. They will normal summon Stratos effect to pop. That is fine. So that is if a Any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead. Okay, so we will banish and banish. Okay. They are going to battle phase. Okay. Not sure why they didn't get rid of the Statue of Anguish pattern. They can't walk over it. They actually can't walk over very much of my board. Master of Dark Law does beat Apophis the Serpent. And then they can get in for 300 over the Silhouette Rabbit. But that's not super strong. Okay. So they're going to link those two off to make... What are we making? We're hero locked, aren't we? Wonder Driver. Think at end of main. I need to decide if I think this Nibiru is worthwhile. I think the answer to that is no. Alright. Draw for turn. Standby main. Banish one random card from your opponent's hand. That's really annoying. Okay, we're going to banish Anubis to special summon Merciless Scorpion. End main. Yep, and they've had enough. Alright, playing against Hero. Don't think we care about Meowls. Don't think we care about Perulia. Do we care about Forbidden Droplet? Maybe. I think Forbidden Droplet is better than Verdict, Statue, and Terraforming. So we'll swap like that and ship it on in. Alright, we are on the draw, which makes sense. We've got a Dominus Purge, which is basically Ash Blossom. Yeah, okay, sure. I'm not going to complain about you paying half your life points. Go for it. They are going to special summon Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is going to grab a change quick play spell, but I'm going to say no to that. So that is summon 1. Opponent is going to normal summon Stratos. That is deeply irritating, but largely fine. They're going to grab Ferris. So they're at 2 summons right now. Activate Ferris, pitching, Sinister Necrom. Yep, you can Ferris, that is fine. Wish we had Imperm. That's the problem, only problem I have with the deck construction right now, is that there's only 2 Imperms instead of 3, and 3 is definitely the number I prefer. Shadow Mist is a hard 1 once per turn, so they are not getting a tutor out of this. They do get to E-Telly with the Vision Hero increase, though, and that's scary. It is, however, summon 4, and because of that, I'm going to Nibiru. They're going to dump Mali. So it might have been preemptive. I think maybe I'm supposed to wait and see what they summon off of Vion. You get a token. Because now they can use this token with the Mali to make a link to and keep playing, but I don't actually know how well Hero plays through that. So, yeah, and then they probably use the Vion. I don't know. It's an interesting question. They're going to Sinister Necrom. They've got the Sinister Necrom as backup, but I can't wait too long because eventually they put up a negate, if I remember correctly, but I don't actually have any idea. Yep, you can Dead End Prison. They will send a Destiny Hero Denier. They just get so much free link material and nothing to do with it. Yep, you may Denier, and your Denier can deny. Yep, that is fine. Denier, put Mali back on top. Really, really cool card. Denier is one of my favorites for sure. It does some interesting things in lower power formats. If it's Link Summon, yep, you can special summon a Destiny Hero out of your graveyard. That is fine. They'll summon back the Denier. They will activate, sacking off the Denier to E-Telly. Or not E-Telly, it's just a tutor? Okay, well, they do get to tutor for a Dusted Gold, but that card is a lot worse than I thought it was. They'll go Mally for Mally. I have no idea if this board ends on any interaction whatsoever. I assume there's something, but I've got Droplet and stuff. Yep, they'll go Infernal Devicer. They're going to show us reveal. Like, I believe that you're playing. Yes, okay, cool. They will activate the Adusted Gold to tutor, probably getting Dark Calling. The Dark Calling will then fusion summon the Neos Lord, and we'll see from there. I don't even adding actual Dark Fusion. Actual Dark Fusion is kind of crazy. I don't think that's stock, but I mean, sure. Yep, you can Mally again. I forgot that this card was at 3. I was like, wait, isn't this card semi-limited? No, it's just semi-limited. On and off all the time. Yep, you can Dark Fusion. Not going to say no to that. They're going to send the Dead End Prison and the Neos to summon the Evil Hero Infernal Wing Backfire. This card is special summon, you can add a Dark Fusion or card that mentions it. Oh, I see. Gotcha. So they're using that, grabbing Dark Supremacy. Dark Supremacy is an imperm. So they've got 2 sets. That's fine. Yeah, okay, so this Nibiru is shotgunned way too soon. Ugh, second man with the mark is not where I want to be. Alright, does this have anything of relevance? Nope, we are going to normal summon Man with the Mark, and yeah, hope that this works, and when it doesn't, we're going to chain Forbidden Droplet to get Man with the Mark off the board. Oh. Or not. We'll grab Treasures of the Kings, and they're going to Droll and Lockbird. Yes, that's annoying, but that's fine. We'll go Treasures to set an Apophis trap from deck. Dark Supremacy. Targeting. Yes. That is unfortunately going to be fine. Do I have anything I can do with Man with the Mark by itself? So I can link off for Moon, but I don't know what this last set card is. And I am concerned about that. However, if it's an interaction monster, we do have this Forbidden Droplet. Yeah, I think that's the play. So we will link these 2 into Moon. We'll link Moon into Requiem. We'll go Requiem, sack. Okay. We will summon Lacrima. We'll go Lacrima effect. They will Forbidden Droplet, sending a monster. Hold up. I do not appreciate how swiftly this opponent is moving. Thinking in response. So they send Mally to negate Lacrima. I'm going to activate Droplet, sending Lacrima to target their Inferno Wing Backfire? Okay, cool. So that worked, and Forbidden Droplet, it resolves, and we will dump a copy of Fiendsmith Engraver. Okay, from there, we will go Engraver, put back Moon, special summon Engraver. We'll go Requiem, target Engraver to equip. Does this game give it stats? It gets it 600. So this is a 24. Evil Hero. Infernal Wing Backfire is very small right now. Right. And main. Fiend monsters, discard points to gain attack and defense equal to level times 100. So its attack is halved. Engraver is a 24 into 17, so they're taking 700. We'll go increase is fine. We will go main 2. We can target a Fiendsmith and a monster on the field, send them to the graveyard. We'll target and target. They will increase in response. Oh. Why did they not increase in response? That is really an odd choice. Okay, well, we will set this Forbidden Droplet. And I believe that is all. We will pass the turn. Dude, you should have been paying more attention. It's Ferris plus Stratos plus Vion. Nibiru was at 11 minutes. So if we scroll to 11 minutes in, it was increase plus Ferris plus Stratos plus Vion. So increase is 900. We're gonna have to whip out the calculator real quick. Increase was 1,000. Or sorry, increase is 9 plus 16 plus 18 plus 1,000. 900 plus 1,600 plus 1,800 plus 1,000. So 3,300 attack. Dark Supremacy. You banish this card, then target up to 5 in your graveyard and banishment, shuffle them into the deck. Yes, it targets. Sure, that's fine. Whatever. I don't even care at this point. Once again, courtesy when playing on a manual simulator, wait for your opponent to respond before you start taking game actions. Unless your opponent has indicated to you in some way that they are not going to be interacting with you, or you have read that they do not have interaction and are very confident on this, do not move until they stop. Think here. I think I just need to... So, what does Desiree say? Then target one card on the field, send it to the graveyard. I think tokens can be sent. So, we're going to go Lacrima, target Requiem. So we'll put this on top and summon back Requiem. They will get their E-Telly. Requiem, sack itself off. They will increase in response. That is fine. I will summon my Lacrima. They will go increase. I will go Lacrima. Yep, Lacrima will just dump Fiendsmith in Paradise. They will get to E-Telly. I'm interested to see what they E-Telly for. They're going to E-Telly for Vion. Vion is going to get to send. I'm going to chain Droplet and send both of these to target these both. I maybe should have left Engraver on board. That's interesting. I do still have Fiendsmith in Paradise. So if they special summon another monster, I can remove the token. and it looks like that is what they are up to. They are going to link summon Extra Hero Cross Crusader. Target Denier. I will, in fact, chain the Fiendsmith in Paradise. So, Fiendsmith in Paradise will dump Desiree. They will get 2 special summon their Cross Crusader. They will go Denier. I will go Desiree. Spin back. Requiem. Target the Cross Crusader. Because I can out the token. Not so sure that I can deal with Denier. Or with Cross Crusader. Yep. Alright, at this point I have no more interaction remaining. So there's an argument to be made for whether or not I continue to pretend I do. They do have another link too they can make. Wonder Driver, of course. I mean, that makes sense. They do still have a Mali left in deck, thanks to the Denier being revived by the Cross Crusader. They will summon the Mali to the zone. They will activate the Wonder Driver. Wonder Driver will set the Dark Fusion. Yes, that makes sense. So they've got a... What size did we say the token was? 43. Okay. So we will take 800, 1900, and 4300. Not quite lethal, which is quite pleasing, I must say. Alright, main 2, do you have anything else, or are we ending like this? Be very interested to see. I'm assuming that they're not playing Dread Decimator, otherwise they would have made Dread Decimator and punched for lethal to capitalize on my mistakes. Alright. It did not have another droplet. TP standby. Alright, well, we're gonna normal summon Man with the Mark. Man with the Mark effect. And our opponent has scooped. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They're playing hero. We've kind of collapsed all of their engines. The only thing they have going for them is this 4300 attack token that I am going to very easily be able to remove, and they're aware of it. They're low on life points. I can go through an Agnum Day line in order to punch for lethal with this Desiree. So yeah, that was not a particularly close game, despite the fact that I had no idea what I was doing in game 1, and it just kind of goes to show that the traditional way of building hero at this point really just doesn't cut it anymore. There's just not enough juice there. There's not enough to end on. I mean, we saw our opponent comboed off for about 5 minutes to end on 1.5 interactions because they happened to have Forbidden Droplet as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the deck so far. I'm questioning the Sanct tech. I'm really not sure what you're supposed to do with it. Like, I don't understand the Lacrima lines, so, you know, if somebody in the comments wants to explain it to me, I will not get it before the end of the video, obviously, but maybe it's just that you really do want to be tutoring it with Engraver, because then you have more things to be cycling through. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the lack of a brick is worth the extra hoop to have to jump through, because Sanct kind of felt like a brick there. But that's enough of me rambling. Let's move on to match 2. Alrighty, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to round 2 of this episode of Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Looks like we are on the draw. We have lost the RPS. Our opponent is on 41. We are on 40. Our opening hand is pretty good. Hopefully we can use this Imperm before we need the Dominus Purge. But this hand looks pretty solid. One is staying in draw phase. I don't know what they're up to. They have not responded to my good luck, have fun either, so let's see what they're going on with. Memento Fusion. Yes, I do not know how to play against Memento. I'm going to be honest. This is a deck I should be prepared for, but I invariably am not. This card is fusion summon. You can destroy a Memento, and if you do, add up to 2. We are going to imperm that. I have no idea if that's right. I mean, I assume so because they just went -2. Banish this card, destroy monster you control. If you do, add a Memento spell trap from your deck to your hand. I'm just going to go for shotgunning both of my points of interaction and see where that lands me. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what the lines are for Memento. Should I be doing more research? Absolutely. Am I going to? Probably not. Ooh, okay, set one and pass. Ooh, that's really good. I mean, kind of. I mean, we've already got the Anubis, the Last Judge, in hand, so we kind of don't need that, but, you know, it could be worse. Alright, normal summon, Man with the Mark effect. Yeah? We gonna, yep, okay. Cool. We'll add Treasures of the Kings to the hand. And our opponent has Droll and Lockbird. Gross. Alright, well, we'll go Treasures of the Kings to set. We will set ourselves an Apophis the Swamp Deity. Set that. Set the Apophis the Serpent. And we will pass the turn? While you control Temple of the Kings, this card and Apophis cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Okay. End main. I'm assuming that is going to be fine. I don't think our opponent would have anything going on. Okay, and end phase, and we will pass the turn there. Opponent will draw for turn. Other continuous traps you control. Okay, so we've got a spot negate. Okay. We will take our 1800. We do, in fact, control Temple of the Kings because of Treasures of the Kings. Unsure if our opponent realizes this. They may sit here staring. Can't be destroyed by battle. There is a lot of text on Men with the Mark, and obviously that text doesn't usually come up, so we're going to activate Apophis the Serpent. I just want to get another Apophis out of the deck. Yep, so we will summon this in defense and set ourselves an Apophis the Swamp Deity. I guess I am glad to not be top decking Droll and Lockbird. That does not seem like what I want to be happening right now. Draw for turn, another Man with the Mark. Draw phase, stand by. Hopefully that is quite alright. We will go Treasure of the Kings to tutor. If that is alright with our opponent. I mean, I don't see why not, but I don't really know what they would have that could interact with this. This will just be grabbing the Serket, and I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure there's only two, yeah, there's only 2 Anubis in deck. Our opponent still has not replied, but it has been long enough that I am willing to just continue going on. Yeah, waited more than 30 seconds, so I feel fine just continuing. We'll go Merciless Beast Scorpion of Serket. Nibiru is an 11, not a 10. Yes, okay. So we will banish Anubis to summon out Merciless Scorpion of Serket. We will go Merciless Scorpion, effect, tutor for Temple of the Kings. We will grab, yep, there's the Temple of the Kings. If this card's fusion comes summon card is destroyed, you can special summon a level 6 or lower Memento monster from your graveyard. If it's normal special, you can target a Memento in your graveyard. Tutor it. If this card is normal special summon, you can activate this effect. Just turn level 9 or higher. Mementos can attack directly. So they will summon Gaddock in order to rebuy Akihiran if we do pop. So I think in that case, what we want to do is we want to go for... Can we get to Chaos Angel? I don't think we can. Well, we probably actually can. Yeah, we could link them off for Moon for... Yeah, we could link off Serket and Man for Moon, or Apophis into Spider. Link off Serket for... and Spider for Moon, for Requiem, for Lacrima, and Engraver. Special summon Engraver, make Chaos Angel, banish the Memento on Twin Dragon. I have talked myself into thinking that that is possibly the correct play. However, I think it is probably more correct to go for this Apophis the Swamp Deity first. We will do this, do defense, negate that. We will sack both of these off for Divine Serpent Apophis, and we will go Divine Serpent, target both to reset them. Because we've got this Temple of the Kings, we'll be able to activate the Apophis. Yep, okay. Our opponent has had enough. We've shown that we can just kind of poop out advantage from there, and there's nothing really they can do about it. Once again, I do not know what Memento does. I assume that they tutor a decent amount, but I have no idea. I don't know if I want Forbidden Droplet. I don't know what their end board looks like. I really just am totally shooting in the dark right now. So I think that in that case, we saw a decent amount of back row. I think they have an important back row, but I do not remember. It's been a long time, and I don't play this deck. Let's swap Juster for Verdict, I guess, and see where that takes us. Once again, going to be on the draw, I am quite sure. Yep. Our opponent is going to have to win a game on the play and on the draw. We have opened Nibiru base functionally triple treasures, which is probably one of the worst hands this deck can produce. We've got this Nibiru that I don't know if it does anything. Tatsuno's Toshigo can be summoned. Yep, you can destroy a Memento and send... Yeah, that's fine. Send any number of Mementos with different names from your deck or graveyard whose total levels are less than or equal to the destroyed monster's original level. So, level totals of 5 or less, because Tatsuno's Toshigo is a 5. Anguish and Gaddock. Gaddock, you can special summon, and Gaddock will add back Anguish. So yes, in fact, the Droll and Lockbird would be pretty good here. Anguish is fine, that's summon 2. You'll add a Memento monster from deck to hand. This deck is so cool. They're going to add Sleepy. Putting the turn monster in your possession is destroyed by card effect. Quick effect, you can special it from your hand. Yes, you may fusion summon. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is summon 4. Does this give them a monster negate? This card is fusion summon. You can send 3 Mementos from your deck into your extra deck to the graveyard. Yeah, that's fine. You can banish it from your graveyard, add 1 Memento. The field spell, I believe, is that what that is? Sure. And they've got 2 more mills. They're gonna mill over Akihiran and Goblin. In the main phase, if you control bring your main phase, you can pop it. Yes, you may tutor. Just realized you can add, and then they're going to activate it. The monster destroyed by battle or card effect, they will go for a Mentalon Fusion. If a monster is destroyed by a card effect, you can also shuffle from your graveyard as material. Alright, so they're gonna summon Mentalin Twin Dragon. Hold up. Once again, it doesn't matter really. If your opponent is continuing to signal, if you add up to 2 mementos with different names from your deck to your hand, do I think it's worthwhile to clear their board right here? I think that feels pretty good. We're gonna Nibiru. Maybe that's not correct, but it feels like a pretty good spot because we're forcing them to have a card in their hand. They will get a token, and then they pop a monster in their hand and tutor for 2 mementos with different names. You have a memento in hand to pop to Twin Dragon. That's the... Okay. So they do not have one. They're going to banish to pop the thing, the token to grab the Bone Party, pop, and Tatsunu Tsushigo. Wait, oh, misclick, I'm assuming. Yeah, okay. Misclick. I was like, wait, what? How did they get to Tatsunu Tsushigo? If a monster is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you target one of them. Once returned during your end phase, target. Wait, what? Wait. Yes, okay. Yeah, okay. Sure. My opponent's playing a little bit fast. I can't quite keep up with everything they're doing. In case it wasn't glaringly obvious, I haven't played the TCG in a long time to have never seen Memento played. Opponent, I think, misclicked again, which, you know, it happens. It's Dueling Book, and if they're using it to cheat a tiny bit, like, whatever. The stakes are not particularly high. Nobody's paying. Nobody's, you know, being threatened life or death with this. In defense, I believe. So they've got Momental and Horned Dragon. They've got Twin Dragon. They've got activating Akihiran to special summon. Yep. And they've got... And... Wait, how are they... Yeah. Wait, how did they summon... How did you... How did you summon... How did Anguish get summoned? I'm confused. Twin Dragon. Okay, thank you. Oh, I guess they did reborn and pop the Twin Dragon. Okay, yeah, that's fine. How did they reborn Twin Dragon? I don't know. Binning Combined Creation and... That is a soft once per turn on that. And Dark Blade. Okay, so... Dark Blade is a spell trap removal, I suppose. I think we do want to go... Opponent activates a card. This thing's a 5k 5k? What? Oh my goodness. I didn't know they printed monsters that went in the main deck that were that big. I'm like, it's got Star God levels, but like, what? 5k 5k? You kidding me? Something tells me we're not winning this game. That's insane. What the heck? Alright, Treasures of the Kings does say you can only activate one per turn. Memento Mixlon. Alright, draw for turn. That's a really unfortunate draw. Alright. Well, nothing to be done but activate Treasures of the Kings. Oh, and the freaking Darkblade will be summoned on res. Or... Okay, so we'll set Apophis the Serpent. They will go Combined Creation. Yep. Combined Creation will revive... Oh, wait, they spun back the Darkblade. The Creation King. Quick effect, you can target an equal number of Memento cards you control, and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. Alright, well, I'm going to set this. And we're going to attempt to activate Treasures of the Kings. So this is an interesting spot for my opponent to have been put in. Oh, on set. Sure. On set, they're going to go Bone Party. That's fine. Yep, okay, so they're going to pop the Horned Dragon to summon an Anguish. Anguish will tutor. And Horned Dragon will trigger. Yes, that is fine. Destroy... sorry, that targets face-ups. So yeah, so they're gonna pop Nib, Treasures, and their Anguish. What are they? Oh, good. Alright, well... So we're not completely dead. What are they looking in their deck for? Ah, Mace off of Anguish. Right, okay. Welp? Anubis? And do they have the Ash Blossom? What are they thinking about? This sends to tutor for Man with the Mark. They're going to Called by the Anubis. That's really unfortunate. Okay. Well, things have certainly gotten spicy. Does Lacrima trigger on normal? She does. Alright, well, this has actually ended up being a fortuitous top deck. We'll go Lacrima. Lacrima will dump an Engraver. They're thinking here. Okay. Makes sense. They're going to activate target opponent monster control. Take control of it until the end phase. Yes. Do I think I have any way of coming back from here? I think the answer to that is no, because I drew 3 Treasures of the Kings. So we're going to scoop it up. We're going to move to the next game. And we're going to put Verdict of Anubis back in. We're going to swap the Fuwalosses out for Solemns and Called by the Grave. And we're going to hope that this is good enough. So, yep, done siding. Alright, and it is time for Game 3. We'll be on the play this time. And our opening hand looks pretty decent. Does our opponent have a Mulcharmy? I think the answer to that question is going to be no, just based off of current looks. Alright. Anubis, we need you to resolve. Please resolve. Come on, opponent. I need you to tell me whether or not you have interaction. Any day now. Any day now. Once again, if you need to step away, let your opponent know. Okay. But please try to respond in a timely manner. It's not really a huge deal, but it would be nice to consistently have people responding in reasonable periods of time. Alright, we'll go Man with the Mark effect. Man with the Mark is fine. We will grab Treasures of the Kings. We will activate Treasures Trigger to set an Apophis trap. We're going to summon. We're going to set the new level 4 one. I don't believe there's anything that can interact with that, so I don't feel any concern. That's the wrong one. Apophis the Serpent. Let our opponent see what it is. Yes, you just have to hover over the card. Our opponent is asking to read. You just have to hover the card, and then it should continue to show up on the side. Alright, and then we're going to set this Apophis, the Swamp Deity, which we are going to set either way, and activate Treasures of the Kings. This Treasures of the Kings is going to grab us a copy of Merciless Scorpion of Serket. Serket is going to banish the last Anubis in our deck to summon itself out. We're going to activate the effect of Merciless Scorpion of Serket. We're going to grab ourselves a Temple of the Kings. We'll activate Temple of the Kings, and then we will go Apophis the Serpent. There's an argument to be made for going through the Fiendsmith line before I do this, but, you know, we're just doing tight plays for tight people, so we will put this in defense, and we will set the Apophis, the Swamp Deity, which we are then going to immediately activate, summoning it out. We will tribute these both off, make the Divine Serpent Apophis. We will trigger, target both to reset them, Swamp Deity and Apophis the Serpent. We are going to have to make decisions on which back row we want, and it's probably going to end up being the Solemn. We'll link those two off for Moon. We'll go Moon for Requiem. We'll go Requiem, summon Lacrima. We'll go Lacrima to mill. Lacrima, mill the Engraver. We'll go Engraver, spin back Moon, summon out the Engraver. I believe we do want to go Necroquip for Wave. Do we want Wave High King Caesar? Yes, they are a fusion deck, so Wave seems more useful than Desiree, and we've got a bunch of negates with Apophis the Swamp Deities. Alright, we'll go Requiem, target Lacrima, equip, send those two off for Necroquip, overlay these two for Wave High King Caesar, We want Anguish Pattern or Solemn? I think we want Solemn, actually. And that is going to be our turn. Pass the turn. Alright. Stand by main for our opponent. What have they got for us? 6-card hand. We've got 2 negates for fusion spells or other effects that special summon themselves. We've got the Solemn Judgment to negate an inherent summon. I don't remember if Tatsunutsu Soshigo is a inherent summon. It is not. I believe we do want to Wave High King Caesar this. That seems pretty good. They're going to Bone Party in response. Oh, they're going to Bone Party in response. Do I want this to resolve? I think I'm willing to pay 4K for this to not. Basically just traded 2 for 1 with our opponent. So, well, yeah, 2 for 1, because Wave High King Caesar is only sort of real card advantage on our board, and Tatsunutsu Soshigo and Bone Party are actual cards our opponent has to work with. So our opponent's in a little bit of a pickle, that's for sure. We've got so much removal, so much negation, that there's only so much they can do. Divine Serpent is only once per turn. They're sending us the GG. We'll send them the GG back. Yeah, those are some pretty good games. Stumbling my way through figuring out what Memento does, I've got a better idea of how it works now. I knew that they were a fusion deck, kind of, but not really. I knew that Combined Creation was kind of nuts, but learning what exactly they can do, that deck is sweet. I think I may have to pick it up and try it in a future episode. But, in any case, that was a sweet game, a sweet showcase of exactly why this deck is so powerful and does so well when it does well. And yeah, that was just a phenomenal game too. So, I'll be back in a moment, and we will be back for match 3. Alrighty everyone, hello and welcome to round 3 of 3 of this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Advanced. And our opponent and I are scissoring. This is exciting gameplay, truly. And, alright, we win the RPS, we will be on the play. Let's see what our opening hand has to offer. Our opponent is on a 45 card deck. This hand kind of sucks. Let's see, DP, okay. They are chill with us moving into the main phase. Verdict, control 3 more other spell traps. Freaking awful. Alright, Engraver. You, my guy, are going to have to solo us through this whole game. Sanct. Wow! Okay. That's really interesting. Our opponent so desperately didn't want us to see what they were playing that they would scoop to Sanct. Huh. What do we think they're on? They also didn't really see much of anything out of us. They didn't see what the supplementary engine was. I think that was a really, really aggressive concession. I don't think there's anything I can reasonably side in. I think, yeah, let's swap Duster for Verdict of Anubis because we're on the draw. And counter traps are generally less good on the draw than they are on the play. This hand sucks. I mean, it's fine, really. What are you up to? What deck are we playing? We've got an Imperm and a Dominus Purge. Hopefully we can use the Imperm before the Dominus Purge. Oh, set to pass. Okay, that's kind of spooky. Alright, well, DP standby. Hopefully this is fine. What the heck could our opponent even be on? I honestly can't figure it out. Well, either way, we're gonna go Treasures of the Kings. Yep, okay, that is fine. We're going to put this Apophis, the serpent, in the back row. Let's set the imperm and go Treasures, Tutor. We'll grab Man with the Mark. Off of this, assuming it resolves. Mistaken Arrest. Ah, that's a little bit unfortunate. What do I think they're up to? Can we do the Fiendsmith line here? We go... Let's think. Let's think through our lines. We can go Sanct, summon the token, token for Requiem, Requiem for Lacrima, Lacrima dump Engraver. I can then summon Engraver, spinning back Requiem, link them off for sequence, but we cannot pitch this Engraver to be able to summon the Desiree. Is there anything else we can do with going into Lacrima? We could go Sanct for Lacrima, or Sanct for Requiem for Lacrima, trigger Lacrima, summon, send Engraver, Engraver spin back, Requiem, summon Engraver, link them both off for... this doesn't look very powerful. That doesn't seem like great to us. I think we're just gonna set one and pass here. Alright, well, hopefully Apophis the Serpent. Ah, it's Labrynth. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. This will summon Lady or Lovely? Torby. Torby pitch rollback. Oh, okay, I see. That makes sense. This will set Big Welcome, I believe. Yes. Yes, you may go stand by main. We'll go... Okay, Big Welcome, chain Apophis the Serpent. Okay, we will summon the Apophis into defense you go. And they will summon an Odion, which is then bounced. Okay. That will trigger Stovey Torby and Welcome Lab. Okay. Something tells me this Nibiru is not going to ever trigger. They'll go for Stovey Torby. Sure. They've got a Welcome Lab set. And an Ariane in hand. I'm gonna go Stovey Torby, pitch it, and Elemental Burst. What the hell? Oh, that's the board wipe. Destroy all cards. This is setting. That is fine, right? Yes. Set a Labrynth spell trap. Pay 4K. Yep, okay. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Yep, okay. Does this finish it? Pay off target. Okay. Second becomes that effect. You set a Welcome Labyrinth trap. Okay. Okay, that's summon 2. It is still relevant to keep track of. Okay, we'll take 18. I mean, well, it's still kind of in hot water. Alright, draw for turn. Ooh, that's a good top deck. Draw phase standby? Alright, main one. The unfortunate thing is, okay, well, let's just go for Odion. Man with the Mark effect. Thinking here. Okay, so they've got Mistaken Arrest again. Ugh. So now I gotta mill over the Treasures of the Kings, which is not what I wanted to do. Can I get to Engraver? I have 2 link material, which does help this a lot. I should have, dang it, I don't have, I can't activate Sanct because I normal summoned Man first. That was dumb. Is there anything I can do out of my graveyard? No. My opponent's just going to continue to grind us to dust here, so we're going to just scoop it up there. Alright, we definitely want these Solemns. We need to side out these 6. Definitely want the Solemns. Definitely want Verdict. Called by the Grave looks pretty good. Meowls is worth questioning. Lancey is not great. Just put in a couple of droplets. We're not really teched to beat this deck. We don't even have Lightning Storms in our sideboard, so... Alright, well, we're on the play once again, so we can't be mistaken arrested. Stand by main. Alright, well, this hand kinda kicks, doesn't it? We'll go Treasures effect. That will set us an Apophis the Serpent. We will then set the Apophis the Swamp Deity and go Treasures of the Kings. Treasures will grab us Man. Normal summon Man effect. Man is actually going to grab us the Verdict of Anubis, which should probably scare the crap out of our opponent. We are going to special summon by banishing the Anubis the Last Judge from our deck, the Merciless Scorpion of Serket, and we'll go Scorpion effect to tutor for Temple of the Kings. Assuming this just goes through, I don't see why they would have an imperm and wouldn't have used it on Man with the Mark. So, we'll see. The Verdict does make me feel substantially better about everything that's going on here. Okay, so Merciless is grabbing us Temple of the Kings. We will... Oh, they're thinking on Resolution here. What do you have on Resolution? Why would you not have Drolled? Okay. We'll go Activation of Temple of the Kings. And then we will link these 2 into... I think we do actually want Scylla Hat Rabbit. I think that's better than Wave Hiking Sea. Well, no, I think we want to go for Lars. No, we're going to go for Scylla Hat Rabbit. Hat Rabbit effect. We will set from deck a Statue of Anguish pattern. And then we'll go Apophis the Serpent. We will move this to defense and set from deck an Apophis the Swamp Deity, which we will then activate. Move it up here to defense, and we'll sack both of these off for Divine Serpent Apophis. Divine Serpent is only... We probably should have gone for Lars because we have this Infib in hand. We will set the Verdict. Divine Serpent. Target. Swamp. Target. Serpent. Target Serpent. Let's see. I mean, it should be fine. I don't really see how they would have anything at this point. So, yeah, we'll just Do like that. Do we want to Anubis the Last Judge right now to thin a man out of the deck? I think the answer to that is no. So we're going to pass the turn. Chandra Liger. That's fine. Set a Labrynth spell trap from hand or deck. Sending Backjack is pretty nice. Big welcome. They're going to trigger the Backjack. Yep, Backjack is fine. You can banish face down 3. They get to ponder, basically, and then put them back, and then they're going to flip a trap that they can activate this turn. That will be useful. Do you want to activate Backjack? I mean, I would assume you do. I don't see why you would not. Yep, Backjack is fine. IDP, ooh, that's a little annoying. Fairy, Spellcaster, Reptile, Illusion. That actually doesn't do anything. You are clear from there. We got the Verdict of Anubis in case of emergency. Verdict of Anubis is disgustingly powerful as a counter trap. I know why it's only a one-of in the deck, but wow, this card is crazy powerful. Spell trap negate and a board wipe. Pretty good. Alright, normal summon Adiana. Think. Well, okay. It's not really much thinking. We'll go Apophis. Seal 2. Do you have a response? Seal 3. And anything else? You have anything else here? No. Okay. Activate CL4. And okay, so we will go Apophis the Serpent to set another swamp deity. We'll go Statue of Anguish pattern and Apophis the swamp deity. Gate that one. And then F's on res. We'll go Silhouette, target there. Anguish pattern, target there. And Apophis, target there. Okay, so they'll go big welcome. I'm going to chain Apophis the swamp deity. I guess maybe I'm supposed to Verdict of Anubis there. They'll go IDP. And then from the IDP, do I care about IDP? What did they target? They targeted Merciless Scorpion of Serket, which is just a 2500 beater. No, that's fine. I don't care. So they'll get Merciless Scorpion. This will go bam, bam, bam. And then pops will happen. Bam, bam, bam. On res. Statue of Anguish pattern, pop the Merciless Scorpion of Serket. Yep. Okie dokie. They'll set a couple of cards. This deck is positively preposterous, I must say. You just pump out so much card advantage so easy. I have sort of placed my monsters awkwardly. I have Swamp Deity, where I should have Apophis the Serpent so that I could link it off for a Link Spider, but I don't think it will end up mattering. Luckily, Divine Serpent Apophis is on Resolution, so we can Verdict of Anubis, one of their back row, and then pop the other one with Apophis, which is pretty cool. And yeah, hopefully, other than that, I mean, we should just clear the board, punch in for lethal. I mean, we don't even have to do all of that. Alright, yep, that's it. Wow, alright, well, that was a pretty successful set of games right there. I'll provide more thoughts in the outro, but, you know, I liked that game. It was pretty easy for us, to be fair. We got kind of stomped game 2 because that's sort of what Labrynth does on the play. And then game 1, they scooped really aggressively early. I'm not really sure why they scooped so early. Game 2, we maybe would have had a chance if I'd remembered to activate Sanct before I summoned Man with the Mark, because then I would have had extra link material to work with, but because Sanct requires me to control only light fiends or no monsters, I couldn't quite do that. So, yeah. I mean, pretty successful game. Game 3 just showed just how much stinking advantage this deck puts up. I even went for the wrong thing, although the Silhouette Rabbit being an extra pop was pretty nice. Sequenced a little bit poorly. Statue of Anguish pattern should have been the last card I activated, so as to get all the pops and preserve a pop off of Divine Serpent Apophis, but ultimately didn't end up mattering at all. So yeah, I will see you in the wrap-up. Alright, well, thank you for sticking with me through the entire set of games that we played today. I had a lot of fun piloting this deck. I have liked the Odion cards the whole time. You know, trap decks are kind of one of my favorite things. If I ever play an alternate format, the first thing I ask is, are trap decks viable? And if they are, I'm much more likely to like the format. This is an interesting take on a trap deck. Of course, you end up with issues that a lot of trap decks run into where you fill out your back row really, really quickly. But this one does it despite playing a relatively low trap count. 13 trap cards, it's not that many. There's a few deck building decisions in here I didn't like. Wasn't a big fan of Sanct. I can see why you would want it over playing Lurry plus Tract, but I generally think that having access to Lurry as just a normal summon and Sanct not really doing everything you wanted if you opened it and didn't open Engraver, especially with only 2 Engraver, feels like a questionable choice. The only 2 copies of Imperm is a little bit weird. I think what you probably want to do with this deck is you can go up to 42, maybe even 43, play another copy of Anubis, play Tract and Lurry, and play an Imperm, and cut the Sanct, of course. But aside from that, maybe the side deck could use some tuning. Like, the Mulcharmies are quite powerful. Meowls is obviously strong, Peruli is strong, but you could probably cut these back to run a few more Silver Bullet type cards. Like, of course, you have the Lancias to absolutely BTFO Malice, but that's kind of the only real Silver Bullet you have here. The Solemns, however, were really huge in this set. Would not trade these out for anything. These are phenomenal in the sideboard. You never want these on the draw, but boy, are they powerful. And some notes on some things that I missed early on. I didn't realize that Link Spider was for linking off the Apophis the Serpent. I kind of can't believe I missed that. It's such an obvious interaction, but, you know, sometimes things happen. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to please like the video if you got this far, subscribe for more updates, comment what you liked or didn't like about what you saw. Do what you can to boost the algorithm. It helps more than you think. And if you want to talk to me more, if you would like to support me financially, there are links in the video description in which to do so. Toodles!